to talk about what I think about schizophrenics and tripping and why some of them seem to be able to do it and others can't. And first, I want to just talk about what kind of definition that I'm using for schizophrenia, at least, and like other psychotic disorders. And because it's kind of confusing to really be able to tell who is just prone to psychotic episodes and who's actually schizophrenic. Like, it's very confusing on how to differentiate between the two. But the main symptom or attribute of schizophrenia is something called a pattern detection problem. And basically, this is an overdrive in what's called patternicity, which is our ability to see patterns in information that is shown. And sometimes when we're looking at noise, it seems like a pattern, but it's not a pattern. And I'll give you an example of this. Something that I've talked about before called pareidolia is basically when you're looking at clouds and then you can see like an image in it, like a figure or a person. It's not actually a figure, it's not actually there, but your pattern recognition sees that. And that's what schizophrenics do with events. You know, it creates a lot of conspiracy thoughts and paranoia about certain situations or events and things like that. And I've personally had experiences with pattern detection problems, but I don't have it right now, so I doubt that I'm schizophrenic. I'm just prone to psychotic episodes. There's clearly a spectrum of people that are on the schizophrenia range, because like on the high spectrum you have people that are completely, you know, lost in some weird almost like mission or something that doesn't even make sense. Like I saw one guy that was like writing out all of these different inventions and gadgets and things like that didn't make any sense, and he would just ramble on about things that didn't connect and didn't have any sort of coherency to them, and he would believe that there's coherency to them, but you know, obviously everyone else wouldn't. So this guy was institutionalized, and somehow he had access to the internet, so that's why he would share his designs and inventions, but they were all nonsense, and they were all just scribbled things. So that guy is on the complete end of chaos. It's almost like entropy, you know. They go to a state of order to a complete disorder, but like somewhere in between that, the disorder can actually give way to creativity and things like that, as long as it's not too far off into the horseshoe end. So it's a very complex thing. Like this is why that they say that, you know, creativity and madness are linked, because it has to do with pattern recognition overdrive. The more patterns you're seeing, the more chances of you making associations that might be novel and might be new. So whether or not schizophrenics and people that are prone to psychosis can trip, I guess basically comes down to how much insight a person has into their condition, because the people that are on the complete lost end, they have no insight and they don't know that there's anything wrong with them. And then there's people on the other spectrum that, you know, can get lost in strange delusions and paranoias and ideas, but still be able to think that there might be something wrong with them, especially if someone close to them that they trust lets them know that. But I've spoken to many people who've had psychotic symptoms. A lot of them say different things about tripping. Like one guy had a friend who was psychotic and had some delusion that was ongoing, and he said that when he takes a psychedelic it gets much worse. But then there's other people who have told me stories of their psychotic episodes and they can still trip okay, and they have insight and they have all of these things. So it's definitely, it seems to be a genetic thing on whether people are able to trip and have psychotic tendencies and things like that and still be okay. Like it comes down to, I guess, their body chemistry possibly, because I've read that a psychedelic called bufotenin, which is related to 5-MeO-DMT and NN-DMT, it is reported to be in higher concentrations with people with schizophrenia in the urine. So when they test the urine, they can see that there's more bufotenin in it. So that could suggest that, you know, psychedelic tryptamines and its ability to metabolize properly might be the reason why Some people have schizophrenia and things like that, like an inability to metabolize these things. So that's, that's a possible theory, but it's interesting nonetheless. So if you guys have any more information about what the risks of people, tripping with certain psychotic disorders, let me know, and let me know what you guys think. So I'll see you.